Good morning, שפע ברכה והצלחה. פרשת השבוע, כי תצא למלחמה. First of all, we have to understand what כי תצא למלחמה. When you go out on war, כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך, ונתנו השם אלוקיך בידיך. So normally it should be in plural. כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך. כי תצאו למלחמה על אויביכם. We'll go out on your enemies. And it is written in singular. כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך. כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך, ונתנו השם אלוקיך בידיך. And God is going to give your enemy in your hands, and again, it's in singular. So, of course, we're talking about a war, but the inner side is talking about the war that we have with the Yetzer Hara, with the bad inclination. כי תצא למלחמה. If you go out on war, especially now, חודש אלול, חודש צדקה ורחמים, this is the time to go out on war. Don't sit and do nothing. You have to go out and act. And the minute you do the first step, what is God telling you? ונתנו השם אלוקיך בידיך. God is going to give the Yetzer Hara in your hand. So we have to do, first of all, the first step. If we do the first step, then God is with us. But if you lie down and do nothing, especially now, the war is going to come to you, Israel is going to come to you, and he is going to attack, and this is not going to end good. So God is telling you, this is the time. Go out and start the war. You start the war against Israel, and I will give him in your hands. And when we talk about this, one of the interesting things in the parashat is Ben Sorer More. This is this child in a certain age, which is, there's so many details that you have to do that it gets to a point that the most of the opinion is it's never happened. Ben Sorer More. This child, he eats and drinks and he doesn't listen to his parents, to the voice of his lo tishmo b'kol aviv b'kol imo, and he goes in the bad ways, and the Torah says you have to kill him. And the Rashi said, why do you kill him now? You kill him not because what he's doing now, because what's going to happen him on his way in life. And this is very strange. How can you punish somebody on something they didn't yet do? And this is exactly the point of Ben Sorer More. It says, Yamut Zakai v'al Yamut Chayav. Because if you kill him now, he's going at least get Olam Haba. But if you're not going to kill him now, eventually what's going to happen is going to commit murder, to steal, to do all those terrible things, and he's going to lose Olam Haba. Wow, okay. But still, how can you do this? How can you punish somebody on something that he didn't yet do? And this is exactly the point of Ben Sorer More. לא שומע בקול אביו ובקול אמו. What's happening here? What is the idea? It says, when we check it, it's impossible that something like this is going to happen. There's only, I think, only one opinion that it once happened. But normally, there's so many details and so many things that it's really impossible that there will be an Ben Sorer More. So, what's the idea? דרוש על מנת לקבל שכר. This is something that we learn Torah to get rewarded. What? With so many things in the Torah that we can learn that are actually things that can happen, that we have to talk about something that will never happen. But that's exactly the point. Here is a very strange idea. You're killing somebody because of something that he's going to do in the future. Let's take a sample. Ishmael is sent from the home of Avram and Sarah with his mother. In the middle of the day, there is no water, and he's going to die from thirst. And he cries to God, and Agar prays to God, and God comes and saves him, gives him a well of water. And the angel says, this guy, who atid la'amit et banecha tzama, is going to kill your children, Am Israel, in thirst, and you are saving him? So as God is saying, what is he now? Now, is it tzaddik or Rasha? Now is it tzaddik? So I'm saving him not because what is now. I don't care what's going to happen. What's going on here? A minute ago we were talking about Ben Sorer More, that you kill him because of something he's going to do in the future. And here, you don't kill the guy that is going to do damages to Am Israel in the future. The idea is very simple. It's also connected to something very interesting. When Shmuel HaNavi is going to crown David HaMelech, he comes to the house of Yishai, and he sees the big son. Wow, he looks beautiful. He wants to crown him. So God says, sit. That's not my Mashiach. That's not the king. And he goes through all the kids. Nobody is suitable. Eventually, he understands, says to Yishai, there is another kid. And this kid is thrown in the field. They think he's a mamzer. We're not going to go to the whole story. They bring him home. And when he goes in, he sees this young guy with red hair. And it reminds him who? Esav Arasha. So he doesn't get up. God's telling him, get up. this is the king, crown him. And he says, Adam yireh la'inayim, you've got the power to see in your eyes things, but God says, I see to the heart what's inside. And there is a big difference between Esav Rasha and David HaMelech, as we all know. But it's the same nature. They've got the same clock. Like there's red hair and that's red hair. It's got the thing that they have this certain abilities, the certain, let's say, powers that they got, a certain will that they got from God. And what's going on here? This is exactly the difference between nature and habits. What do we mean? Whatever God gives us as a nature, we can use it for the best. For example, when we're talking about Esav, Esav kills people because he is a murderer. But David HaMelech doesn't kill nobody unless it's to save Am Yisrael. And that's a big difference. By the way, we have those that have this luck, this red luck, Ma'azal Ma'adim, you give them to be a shochet on a moel. So, in other words, there is always a way to use the talent, the nature you get from God in the best way that you can. In other words, there is no bad nature. There is the use of the nature in a bad way. Everything that God gives us, we can use it for the best. But habit is something that you do for yourself. So if you get used to do a sin, unfortunately, this is much harder to fix than your nature. And that's exactly what the Torah is trying to teach us. That's what we have to learn. When we educate our kids, what does it mean? What does it mean? He doesn't hear the voice of his father. He doesn't hear the voice of his father and mother. So one of the explanations is, he doesn't hear the voice of Torah in the house. He doesn't hear the proper voice, the proper thing that he should. They didn't educate him in the right way. And this is Ben Sorer or More. When you see a kid goes in the wrong way, you have to find a way how to educate him, how to influence him to do the right thing. And giving good habits and not bad habits, because bad habits will lead him to end his life the same way as Ben Sorer or More. And that's the idea. But you said, because it's nature is so angry, so this, so that. Doesn't matter. You can fix it. You can guide it to the right place. And like somebody is lazy, you be lazy to do sins. But when it gets to a mitzvah, you get out of your laziness. And somebody is if you ask him, he's doing everything quickly. So you do quickly things for God. But if it's something a sin, you don't use your habits, your abilities, your talent. You use the talent for the best. And this is in your hand, in our hands, and especially when we're talking Ben Sorer or More, what is the idea? Education. How do we pass the right message to the next generation? And this is Ben Sorer or More. Ben Sorer or More is exactly the point that we have to make sure that we look at our kids and give them the right tools. And if we see them getting to bad habits, we have to take them out of those habits and give them good habits. And בדרך שאדם רוצה ללך, and the way that somebody goes, the way they will lead, God is going to lead him. We always need the help of God to help us go in the right way. There is a way to look at life, and the way is sometimes that we see things in different ways. And this is exactly the point when we're talking about looking at things in the right way. For example, there were two shoemakers that were going to a faraway country in order to make a living because they couldn't make it in the place that they were. The first can get out of the plane in a faraway place that maybe there is going to find parnasa. Right away phones home and says, sorry, I'm coming home. Nobody's got your shoes. They go barefoot. They've got no shoes. The second one gets out of the plane. He sees what's happening. He says, send me a lot of containers with shoes because this is a big opportunity. They've got no shoes. I'm going to sell them shoes. This is the way. How do you look at things? Do you look them in the good way, or the right side, or you look at them the wrong way? And that's exactly the point. When we're seeing what's happening, one of the good ways to learn, understand, to do the right things in the eyes of God is when we say in the Tefillah, Va'er enenu Toratecha, lighten our eyes with your Torah. And right after the synagogue, we go to our daily things and we don't put any effort in to learn Torah, to do something for God. And this is one of the problems that we have, especially now when we Chodesh Elul, Chodesh Slicha v'Rachamim. As we say, we have to go in a right way. We have to find the good habits to go in them and make us go in the best way that we can. And this is, by the way, a very, very interesting point when we're talking about. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm talking this way because I'm here and not exactly in the best place to do the Dvar Torah, so I have to turn around and do things. I hope I'll manage to finish it in a few minutes. We'll do it. And this is the story in order to make sure that we understand what we're talking about. There is this story about this guy. Poor guy comes to the rich man and he says, I need parnus, I want to say to the rich man, okay, no problem. I'm going to wait for you at home at 11 o'clock. Come and I'll give you money so you can start a business. 11 o'clock comes, this rich guy is finishing all the businesses he can and he goes home and he gets home and he waits for this poor guy to come. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, he doesn't come. Waits another hour, doesn't come. Okay, he leaves home. The next morning, who is he meeting again? The same poor guy. You have to help me, I need money. Says, okay, you know what? I waited for you yesterday. I'm going to wait for you today also. Come at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, this rich guy makes sure that he's at home and he's got the money ready to give to this poor guy waiting 11, 12, 1. He's not coming. He goes home. The next day, the same poor comes. I need. Says, what, you joking with me? I waited for you 2 days, it didn't come. Go away. The same thing is, we say, we say in the parashat, Akem takim imos, and the Or Chaim Kadosh explain, Akem takim, we're talking about the loss of a donkey, of his falling on the way, but he's talking about the neshama that is falling, and that's, we have to raise it up. We have to help our fellow men and also to ourselves. But it's Akem takim imo, with him together, with our intention together, with our deed together. We have to do also something. We cannot say, oh God, save us, and do nothing. And that's exactly the point. When we say, light our eyes in the Torah, so when you go out of the shul, do something. And you know what? If you don't do it right after shul, do it at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Make sure God is waiting for you. But you say, light my eyes with the Torah, and you do nothing about it, not now, not tomorrow. What do you think? What is God saying? What, are you joking with me? What's going on here? Bezrat Hashem, we will go in the right way. We will educate our kids and ourselves to good habits, to go not to be Ben Sorer or Moreh, but to be the best son in the world for God, and go in the right way and educate our kids in the right way and give them good habits. And Bezrat Hashem, we are going to do it with ourselves. And as we say, especially now, put effort into it. But Bezrat Hashem, God is going to lead us in the best way. Ki Tetze lemilchama, we have to do the first step. Go on war, and God, Netano B'yadecha, is going to give it to us. All the best.